A very good evening, everyone. I am CA Shalabh Hajela, moderator for this webinar, and we are delighted to welcome you all in this webinar being organized by Continuing Professional Education Committee of ICI. It's my absolute pleasure to be a moderator for this webinar on UAE corporate tax and opportunities for CAs and career in internal audit in current scenario. In a short while, we'll start with this webinar, and I would like to appraise you in the meantime about CPE Committee. The profession of chartered accountancy has always been recognized for the quality of education, training, and strong grip over technical standards. Our institute has been working very hard to cater to the needs and requirements of our members and has taken various initiatives for them from time to time. The ICI, through its continuing professional education committee, has been constantly endeavoring to provide adequate opportunities to our members to update their knowledge and maintain the requisite professional competence. The program for this evening is as follows. We'll be having two sessions of 1 hour each, one on UAE corporate tax and opportunities for the CAs, and the other one is career in internal audit in current scenario. Our eminent speakers will talk about the above mentioned topics. And for organizing this webinar, I would like to thank CA Gyanchand Mishra sir. He is a Vice Chairman of CPE Committee and Chairman of Committee on Insolvency and Bankruptcy of ICI. Presently, he is serving the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as a Central Council member and a convener for Tender Monitoring Directorate of ICI. He has more than 25 years of professional standing to his credit as an established chartered accountant. Under his vision, this year CPE Committee is taking new initiative for its members. I would like to request CA Gyanchandra Mishra sir to speak a few words of encouragement.
So thank you, Salab, moderator of today's program. Today's speaker, CA Avinash Gupta ji, who will be taking on opportunities for chartered accountant under new tax regime in UAE. The other speaker will be taking session on opportunities for the chartered accountants under internal audit. Today's keynote speaker, CA Ankur Tahil ji, Ajit Nath Tiwari ji, very respected secretary of the committee, and of course all the participants who are attending this program. Good afternoon to all. Friends, we all know that the profession is growing leaps and bounds. We can witness a lot of opportunities, not only nationally but internationally, knocking our doors. If we see the knowledge process outsourcing is going to be the biggest hub for the country in coming time. Recently, one survey which was duly, discussed and deliberated by our Honorable Prime Minister himself, that the country is exporting most of the services as of now. Service export is at the best as of now, and out of those service export, accountancy and taxation service export has better growth than the software service growth. So now we can witness the type of opportunity we people have in coming time with respect to the auditing and accounting services across the globe. The other opportunity, we well know that internal audit being the core audit function for the chartered accountants for about a decade. Now this function is growing. The shape and the name of the internal audit could change. That might come in the name of the forensic audit. That might come in the name of the special audit, concurrent audit, whatever it could be. But the basic object of the auditing, which used to be the core area of practice for the chartered accountant, that is internal audit, that is again taking new shape in the regime of the practicing of the chartered accountants. Friends, CPE committee is coming up with various reforms in coming time, and technology being the most inevitable part to have its wings across the universe, use of artificial intelligence, and a lot more would be seen in coming time. I am sure that this session, both, I mean, the first and second, both session is going to be one of the, key highlighting areas, and the members who are attending the program, they will certainly take the benefit of the same, and you people will certainly explore the new areas we are discussing today. And I am sure about one more thing, that all these things are going to contribute in our profession directly, and of course, indirectly in contributing the country at large. So by these words, once again, I welcome each and everyone in this virtual program of the CPE Committee. And once again, I welcome the keynote speaker, both speakers and moderators, and of course, the officers of the Institute who are organizing this program tirelessly. Thank you, Salab, for wonderful moderation, and over to you for furtherance.
Thank you, Gyan sir, for your great words of wisdom. I would also now like to introduce our keynote speaker, CA Ankur Tayal. Sir, he is a practicing chartered accountant with 15 years of experience in the field of audit and taxation of corporate and non-corporates, banking industries, NBFCs, and financing. He is also a qualified insolvency professional in 2019 and a designated partner in Artha Resolution Advisors LLP. He has served in various capacities and remained chairman of ICI Ghaziabad branch in 2016-2017. C. Ankur Daya sir, we would like you to speak few words of encouragement.
Thank you, Salab Hajela. Good afternoon to all my learned professional colleagues. At the outset, I would like to thank CA Purushottam Lal Khandelwal ji, Chairman CPE Committee, and CA Gyanchand Mishra ji, Vice Chairman CPE Committee, for organizing a webinar on this most awaited topic, and most importantly, for inviting me to be part of this important discussion. Friends, what we are about to discuss in this webinar today is very close to my heart, and I am quite sure that it must be all of you also. The first thing that any professional wants to know or explore is professional opportunities. And today we are going to have detailed discussion and detailed deliberation on it. We all are aware that the authorities in the UAE have introduced corporate tax from 1st June 2023. The law stipulates that a taxable person or taxable business person will be subjected to a 9% corporate tax from start of the first financial year, commencing on or after 1st June 2023. To make us aware about this latest professional opportunity for chartered accountants in India, and we have with us today C. Avinash Gupta ji from New Delhi. He is a very knowledgeable and dynamic person, and I am quite sure that he will touch upon every aspect of this newly introduced corporate tax in UAE and the professional opportunity for chartered accountants in India. And we will walk away as a more equipped professional after this, after his deliberation. Friends, you all also will agree that the internal audit remains the backbone of our profession. We all are already well versed with the internal audit. However, what this field more can give to us, more can offer, and how we can make as a promising career in internal audit, it will be shared by CA Gaurav Mishra ji from Allahabad. Apart from being a successful professional, Gaurav is a multi-talented person, and his session is definitely going to be extremely beneficial for each one of us. The whole session will be moderated by a very talented and vibrant CA Salab Hajela from Ghaziabad and CA Animesh Sharma ji from Raipur. I guess without taking much time, I hand over the platforms to our moderators, and let's learn how to make more money. Happy learning. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Indeed, Ankur sir, I would agree. Let's learn how to make more money. What better things to learn than this? And with this, I would like to give a very good introduction about our speaker, C. Avinash Gupta. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. He did his graduation from Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University, and was awarded the best student of the college. He is also in the merit list of ICI in CA Final. He is also a law graduate and completed his LLM in International Taxation from Vienna University, Austria, Europe. He has authored 3 books on international taxation, transfer pricing, and UAE corporate tax. He is also pursuing PhD in law on the subject of taxation of digital transactions. He's also a regular faculty on UAE corporate tax and transfer pricing at ICAI and various chapters. He was the chairman of Northern India Regional Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the year 2021-22. He is also secretary of SRCC Alumni Association. He is a nominated co-opted member of International Taxation Committee of ICAI for the year 2022-23. He is also president of Tax Research Foundation, an NGO doing research in the field of taxation. He is a national treasurer of International Fiscal Association for Indian Branch, a Netherlands-based body. He is a partner in Apt and LLP, chartered accountants having head office at Delhi and 18 branches all over India. Apt and Company LLP also has branch offices in Dubai, catering the clients of entire GCC region. He has delivered more than 3,000 lectures at national and international level. He is a visiting faculty member at the National Academy of Direct Tax, Nagpur, and other regional campuses, Shriram College of Commerce, ICAI, ICSI, ICWAI, and Management Institutes. He is also a faculty member of certification course on international taxation for CAs. He was special invitee of Direct Tax Committee of ICAI and International Taxation Committee of ICAI. He has experience of handling various international taxations, including transfer pricing matters for big corporates. He has worked as finance analyst in PNG. He has won many laurels during his school, college, and CA student life. So definitely a personality to look forward. I hand over the session to our learned speaker for the day, C. Avinash ji, to take forward.
I think I am not able to start my video.
If the tech team can.
Or I have logged in from my laptop, so can somebody allow me?
Sure. Can the tech team take this?
Sir. 1 second.
Yeah. It's visible, sir.
आपको वीडियो तो आ रहा है सर, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग।
हाँ, अजीत जी ओपन हो गया, जो दूसरे से मैंने लॉग इन किया है वो वेटिंग में आ रहा है। कैन यू प्लीज अलाउ मी?
अच्छा अच्छा, किस नाम से सर? व्हिच नेम?
अविनाश गुप्ता होगा या सचिन होगा सर?
अच्छा, अफाक यू प्लीज अलाउ गेट इनसाइड वेटिंग रूम से आप ले लें। सचिन या हाँ सर, वी हैव लॉक्ड द मीटिंग रूम ड्यू टू यू नो।
Yes, sir. Now.
Yes, Avinash sir, please, if you can go ahead and share your knowledge with all our participants.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for this nice introduction. My elder brother and respected Central Council member, Vice Chairman of the committee, Gyanchand Mishra ji. I especially thank you and your visionary thoughts to organize this topic on UAE tax, which is, I believe, is a huge opportunity for you. Gyanji, I am in Abu Dhabi right now and delivering this lecture directly from UAE only.
So you are at the source of the opportunity.
Yeah. So that
Great,
is there,
sir.
and I hope that I will do justice to the topic. Another brother and my senior and elder brother Ankur Tayalji, who is the keynote speaker of the day, and I am hearing him. I think Ankurji, you have fixed the tone very set and very rightly for this webinar that we are doing under the aegis of CPE Committee. So I hope that we all who are present in this webinar will learn from this, and other participants who are there. My co-speaker Gauravji, and excellent MOC of the program and moderator of the program, given a nice introduction to me. So thank you to everybody for this. Because we are having less time today on this topic, so let me quickly come up with the opportunities that is there for all of us, for all the people who want to come and do this activity. So for this, I think, sir, friends, we all should know that UAE is a country which started way back in 1976, where the Abu Dhabi is one who make an offer to all the Emirates of the GCC nation to come together and form a country. So 7 Emirates have come together and made a country called United Arab Emirates, which is UAE. Traditionally, if we see this country, it is an oil-based country. all are based and all are dependent on oil. So they explore oil, sell it to the world, and they earn money. But they found later on that oil is not the only source that they should look at. So they devised a new strategy in their country, and from oil they become a tourism destination. So Dubai is one destination which is really very hot destination in the world, and everybody wants to do and travel there. So today I think more than 2 lakh people every day reach this destination, and everybody is enjoying. So from oil they move to a tourism destination. Then way back in 2017-18, they thought that now it is a time that they again want to move from oil to tourism to something else as a source of revenue. So they introduced a system called VAT, which is value added tax, indirect tax. They have introduced in 2018. Now it is successfully implemented in all spheres of the country. So now they thought, now it's a time to introduce a corporate tax. So 1st June 2023, meaning thereby exactly 27 days from today. So after 27 days from today, they will be implemented this law, which is called as corporate tax law in UAE. So what is this law all about? So this law will tax the income of the person in UAE at the rate of 9%. So 9% is the rate of tax which they want to introduce here. But in this 9%, they have given certain exemptions with respect to the small businesses. And they also give some exemptions to the free zones also, that certain free zones are out of it. So we'll read one by one what exactly they have done it in the corporate tax. You see, from oil, they come to tourism, and now they come to indirect tax, and now direct tax on corporate, which is called a corporate tax. Maybe going forward, they may look for an individual tax also. So because of this new tax regime, which is coming up from next month and onwards, so they felt that there is a need for doing some kind of a consultancy work or compliance work to be done by somebody here. So that creates an opportunity for professionals like us, and we being a tax professionals, or we being an Indian chartered accountants who are well versed with the tax laws of our country, they thought that these are people who can help the businesses here in a better way as compared to other professionals who are available. So that gives a huge amount of opportunity for all of us. And in reality, in UAE, Indian chartered accountants are preferred over other professionals available here. So we know that, okay, we are India, we have already dealt with the subject in our law, we have already dealt with the subject in our examination system, and in implementation and compliance and assessment also, we have already dealt it. So everybody knows about this fact. And India being a very aggressive tax jurisdiction with respect to, let's say, transfer pricing and some other, so they all want that, okay, we need people who have experience of this particular area, and that is why they are preferring all of us. But this is not the only opportunity that we have. So I divide this opportunity into 4 categories. So one is the direct consultancy work that you will get in this jurisdiction about the UAE corporate tax law. The second would be the compliance of the tax law. So that is also an attached work to it. So somebody may elect not to do an consultancy, but they would like to go for an compliance. Compliance would include your filings. The compliance would include some kind of a compliance on a daily basis, maybe TDS withholdings, etc. Though it is not yet prescribed, but in the due course, they will prescribe those compliances also. And somebody may also elect to do a compliance with respect to documentation also. So this is also a compliance. And the most difficult and the most biggest compliance what one has to do is the transfer pricing compliance. And believe me, friends, UAE have adopted an international transfer pricing compliance based on the OECD guidelines. So that makes our task more difficult in terms of technicality, but easy in terms of the international. In India also, we are having the same kind of a provisions based on the OECD compliance and international compliance. So same needs to be done in UAE also. So there is no new course. There is nothing new what you have to read as far as this transfer pricing compliance is concerned. So we are also having the same kind of a compliance in India, and the same have been adopted in UAE also. So second opportunity which is associated with this is with respect to the compliance practice that you can do. The third, which is even much more bigger than this, is what we say is a bookkeeping and accounting activity. Till now, when listed companies are publishing their results, so they have a full-fledged system of bookkeeping as well as accounting. And here our accounting is purely based on IFRS rules. So India is very near about IFRS only. So with a small here and there, so we can easily learn IFRS. So accounting and bookkeeping, which other than listed companies may not be doing in a great way now till the time this law is not in place. But from this 1st June onwards, they have to do and make an accounting for this particular tax compliance. They have to do a proper bookkeeping. So there is another opportunity for all of us, all of you as well, where you can help the people, help the businesses in this country to prepare a proper books of accounts and a proper balance sheet and financials to be prepared by applying IFRS as such. So this is also an opportunity where you people can, or anybody can, work on that particular respect. The law have also prescribed a limit that every company who is complying with the, or who is applicable for this corporate tax law and having a turnover of exceeding 50 million dirhams, they are liable to prepare books of accounts. So this is the third opportunity for all of you to have this in UAE corporate tax law. The fourth opportunity which is there, Ankur Bhai, this is specifically for you, because people who are in hardcore audit profession, those who are doing the real work, which is the heart and soul of a chartered accountancy profession, is audit. Because of all this corporate tax law with effect from 1st of June 24, the every SSC who specify or who fulfill certain condition has to get his account audited under this law itself. So all the bigger businesses who comply with this particular part of the law, the thresholds given in the law, they are liable to not only maintain their books of accounts, but they are also liable to get them audited. And for your information, Ankur Bhai, you are eligible to obtain a license here, provided you also fulfill certain conditions that is there. So an Indian chartered accountant can obtain an audit license from the government here, and they can practice. They may practice exclusively also in this country, or you may practice in both the countries, subject to the laws and regulations of ICAI as well as the local government of the country. You can do that. So these are four different kind of an opportunity which have come because of this one law, which we call as a corporate tax law. Now let me detail you that corporate tax does not mean it is a tax on company. So Ankur Bhai, if you are doing a business in UAE under a sole proprietorship, still you are liable for corporate tax. So corporate tax does not mean only a corporate tax. Corporate tax means any person who is doing a business. So we can rename it as a business tax. So if you are having any income from business and profession, and you do not qualify to be a small business, is what I am going to tell you right away. So कुछ businesses को उन्होंने exemption दी है. There are certain businesses which they said they are small businesses, hence these are not liable to pay any corporate tax. But other than that, if you are doing a businesses either under partnership form or under proprietorship or under a company or LLC, those are all liable for corporate tax. So that is there. And the amount of corporate tax I have already told you is 9% is the corporate tax, which you have to apply and you have to pay in this country. Now, we all know that there is a free trade zones also. So free zones are one of the reality of this country, and there are about more than 45 free zones which are there, which offers tax-free income for many SSCs, many businesses, and they structure their business in such a way that they are taking use of this free zone. This law says that maximum tax-free period what they can give is 50 years. So for next 50 years, there may not be any tax on these free zone companies, subject to certain conditions to be fulfilled. And what are those conditions? So they said that a free zone company, if they have a qualifying income, that is exempt. If they earn any income which is not within the definition of that qualifying income, then they are also liable to pay tax in the country at the rate of 9%. And they also have given an option to a free zone company that if the free zone company would like, they may opt for paying taxes in the country at the rate of 9%. So what I've said is, so for example, Ankur Bhai, you have one company who is a free zone company and you are owner of it. So you earn certain income, which is a qualifying income. So qualifying income means they have not yet defined, but it generally means that you earn income from outside UAE, or you earn income from another free zone company. So that income, let's say, is being notified as qualified income. Plus, you also have certain income which you have provided, which you have earned within the country, which we call as a non-qualifying income. So on your non-qualifying income, you are liable to pay tax at the rate of 9%, and on your qualifying income, you are not liable to pay tax on any amount for next 50 years. Now let us assume you say that I am not able to differentiate between a qualifying income and a non-qualifying income. So in that case, or in any other case, you may opt for paying taxes on your both the incomes and say that, okay, I know that I am having a free zone entity, but that free zone entity may opt for paying the tax on all kinds of income. So that is also which is possible now. So a free zone entity can also pay tax, or they have to pay tax on their non-qualifying income, which is there. And what is qualifying and non-qualifying, they have not yet notified. So they are going. So they are going to notify it in future. Now, there is one more important definition which is there in the law, which is termed as exempt person. So I told you that this corporate tax is applicable on all the persons who are doing a business here and who have a business income. But they have specifically exempted certain people as that they are exempt persons. So what are those people, or what are those entities who are specifically classified to be an exempt person? Or no corporate tax is applicable on those people who are called as exempt persons. What are those? First, they said government companies or government entities. So anything which is a government here in UAE is exempt. So all Foreign Affairs Ministry, all Economic Affairs Ministry, Finance Ministry, Ex Ministry, Tourism Ministry. So whatever the government, they may be providing services, they may be doing a business here, but all government entities are exempt persons. So they are not liable to pay any tax under the corporate tax. Then second is, they said government controlled entities. This is nothing like a public sector undertaking. So any company where the government owns 51% or more share capital of the company, they are called as government controlled entities. So all those government controlled entities are also classified as exempt person, not liable to pay any corporate tax. So government is exempt, government controlled entity is exempt. Next, any company or any person who is in the business of extraction of oil. So कोई भी company है जो oil extraction business में involved है. So any company who is involved in extracting the oil from the country, then they are also called as exempt person. Why? Because these oil extraction companies are liable for state taxes already. So all these companies are liable to pay taxes in the country even today. So they said they continue paying the taxes at the emirate level, at the state level, or at a local level. They are not liable to pay a corporate tax on the federal level. So that's why they have put them, all the oil extraction companies, as exempt. If they are extracting other than oil, this is covered. They are not exempt, but only those companies who are extracting oil from the country. So those companies are also out of the purview of this corporate tax. Fourth, they said any company who is in a non-extraction business of other natural resources. So any company who is engaged in processing or any other business other than extraction. So they are not extracting anything, but they are processing. So for example, there is an Emirates Aluminium Company, or there is any other company who is not extracting from the land, but they are processing. They are they are making steel, they are making aluminum, they are making copper, they are making gold and silver, etc. But they are not extracting it from the land. So those businesses are also called as exempt person, because they are also subject to the emirate tax. So at the emirate level, or at a state level, or at a local level, they are liable to pay tax even today. So that is why they said that these companies are also exempt person, subject to certain conditions to be fulfilled. So for all this, there is a detailed regulations that if they fulfill these, then only they will be classified like this. So in principle, we say that okay, these companies are also not liable to pay any corporate tax. So when I have told you four things. One is the government entities, second is government controlled entities, third is an entity which is engaged in extraction of oil, and fourth, that a company which is engaged in non-extraction of natural resources other than oil, who are fulfilling certain conditions and liable to pay local taxes, they are also exempt. So these four people are always treated as exempt. Then there are four more persons, they say. First, they say a person who is a public benefit entity and termed as a qualifying public benefit entity. So if somebody is running a school, somebody is running a hospital, somebody is running any public charity like temple, mosque, or gurdwara, etc., and registered in this country as a public charitable entity or public interest entity whose purpose is not to earn profit but to do charity at large. So those entities are also termed as exempt person in this law, but they have to file a form and particulars in the prescribed form. So like we have article ITR 7 in our country, where every charitable institution has to file an ITR, has to file an audit report, has to file all these things. So similar to that, not exactly the same, but similar to that, they said all qualifying public benefit entities are also exempt person, but they need to file certain information which they will prescribe annually to the government or to the authority. Like we have CBDT, here there is an authority called FTA, Federal Tax Authority. So they have to file the information to the FTA only. So that is what, if they file it on time, then they are also exempt. Then we know that in this country, there are many fund houses who are working. There are many funds who are working here in this. So they also exempt certain qualified investment funds. So they are also, these funds are also not liable for corporate tax, provided they fulfill certain conditions and they file the same information with the FTA, with the Federal Tax Authority in the prescribed form annually. So every year they need to file this information to the FTA, and the moment they file this information and FTA says okay, so they are also treated as exempt person. So this is the second type of person, which is called as exempt person. Third, there are many superannuation funds, pension funds, and other associated funds which are there. So those funds are also are said that they are exempt from corporate tax, provided they file the information with the government annually. So any pension fund, superannuation fund, or welfare fund, or any other fund for the benefit of the employees or the past employees, those are also exempt from tax. So this is also third entity, but they need to file certain information annually with the government. Last is said, if all of above, so 4 plus 3, all of these 7 people, if they jointly holds any entity, so that entity is also exempt from tax, provided annually they file this information before the FTA that they are either jointly owned by government authorities, or they are partly owned by government and partly owned by pension fund, partly owned by investment fund, etc. So there, if the majority of companies, the company is owned by all 7 and type of entities above, so then in that case, this entity is also treated as exempt entity. So there are 8 entities which says they are exempt person. First 4 entities, they are not required to do anything. They are exempt as a whole soul. Next 4 kind of entities are those entities which they need to file. They need to give information annually to the government. Once they give this information to the government annually, so they will be treated as what do we say, exempt person. So that's what exactly the law says about this. Then comes who is a taxable person. So who is a taxable person? This says a taxable person means a person who is a judicial, who is a natural person. So who is a judicial person first? So who is a company as such? So any person who is a company registered in this country as a company, as a judicial person, so they are treated as a taxable person, which includes a free zone company also. But free zone company is subject to the condition that they are earning only qualifying income, they are exempt. But if they are having income which is non-qualifying income, they are liable to pay tax on it. So any person, any company, any judicial person, whether it is a mainland entity or a free zone entity, they are taxable person. Similarly, they said any partnership, LLP, LLC, who is in the nature of partnership, which is called as a judicial person, they are also liable to be pay tax. So they are also called as a taxable person. Next, any judicial person whose place of effective management is situated in UAE. So any company, any partnership firm, or any other judicial entity, AOP, BOI, etc., if their place of effective management is situated in UAE, so that is also called as the taxable person in UAE. So I am staying in UAE, let's say for 365 days, managing my company in India. So Indian government says you are an Indian company, you have to pay tax in India. UAE government says, okay, in that case, you are an Indian company, we accept it. You are a judicial person registered outside UAE, a foreign jurisdiction, but because your place of effective management is situated in UAE, so you are also liable to pay tax in UAE as taxable person. So a judicial person who is registered in a foreign jurisdiction as far as UAE is concerned and having a place of effective management in UAE, they are also liable to pay tax in UAE. Third, they said any natural person who conducts business or business activity in the country, in the UAE, they are also liable to pay tax. They are also taxable person. So that is how I said that individuals who are running businesses here, so even though it looks like a corporate tax on company, but individuals are also included here as persons, as a taxable person. So this is important. So these are the three type of assessees which say the person. Next, a foreign company or entity who is having a permanent establishment in this country. So an Indian company, a UK company, a US company, they are working in UAE, they are working in Abu Dhabi, they are working in Dubai or any other place through a permanent establishment situated therein. So in that case, this is also treated as the taxable person because they are earning an income in this country, having some kind of a nexus of the income should be there in that country, and they should earn this as a permanent establishment situated here. So in that case also, they are treated as taxable person. Then next they said that if any of the company or any of the person, or whether natural or judicial person, if they are having a branch office in this country in UAE, so that is also treated as taxable person. So isko bhi unhone taxable person kaha. So quickly, who are taxable person? First unhone kaha any kind of a judicial person, company, LLP or partnership, any kind of a foreign judicial person who is having a place of effective management in UAE. Third, they said any natural person, any individual who is having a business income. Then they said any company who is running on business in UAE through a permanent establishment, income is derived from that permanent establishment and have some kind of a nexus here. And then they said any other person who is having a branch office in UAE. So those are also called as taxable person. So इनको भी उन्होंने कहा taxable person. Then the next question comes, what is the income which is to be done? So incomes, they say that any income which is sourced from this country, which have earned in this country, so those incomes are taxable in this country. So for they said that any income which is derived by the taxable person from the country, that is required to be paid tax on this. And for a resident of the country, for a company which is called as a resident here, their global income is subject to tax. The same principle what we used to have in our country. So same thing have been adopted here. The definition of permanent establishment as per OECD is provided in the law. So those companies, those entities who are fulfilling the definition of OECD as permanent establishment, so they have been incorporated in the law that we need to check and we need to see. Then we all know that in this country there are many family offices. So many family offices is being working here, and those family offices are also subject to tax here, provided they have been given certain exemptions, for which on a case-to-case basis we have to see whether they should do it or they should not do it. So those family offices are also subject to tax. Free zone company, I have already told you, are subject to tax. They may elect to go for tax, but for their non-qualifying income, they are liable to pay. Corporate tax. Then they said that there are certain incomes, there are certain benefits which have been provided to you. For those benefits, you have to calculate your income in a manner prescribed in the law, which says that you have to aggregate your income, reduce all your exempt income. So for example, dividend is an exempt income, so there is no tax on a dividend. So if your income includes a dividend, so this is an exempt income, like we have section 10 income. So here also there is an article 22 income which is called as a tax-free income. Like dividend, any distribution of a profit, any dividend, even if it is coming from a foreign jurisdiction subject to certain condition, any income of a foreign permanent establishment if they fulfill certain conditions, etc. Any income of a foreign airline or a foreign shipping company who is working in international traffic, etc. So those incomes you have to reduce it. You have to also reduce your expenses if there is any expenses attached to those incomes, and then whatever income comes, so that all kind of distributions that you have made, you have to reduce it, you have to ignore it, and then whatever income is left, that income is subject to corporate tax. But here what is important to understand is that there is some small business reliefs. So any person which is a taxable person, if they qualify the conditions given in the decree for small businesses, or they are within the definition of these small businesses, then they are not liable to pay any taxes. Now, what is those definition of small businesses? This says any person who is having a profit less than 3,75,000 AED, and not all, and their turnover does not exceed 3 million AED. So any person whose turnover exceeds 3 million AED, they are not a small business. Or if their income increased 3,75,000 AED, they are also not a small business. So a person, let's say, I have a turnover of 2.8 million AED, but my profit is 4 lakh AED. So I'm not a small business. Or if there is a business whose profit is 2 lakh AED, or maybe there is a loss, but their turnover is exceeding 3 million. So they are also not a small business. Once they qualify this limit in any of the year, for life, they will not be a small scale business. So for first year, I qualify, so I may be a small business. For second year, I qualify, I may be a small business. For third year, I do not qualify, I become a taxable person. For fourth year, I again qualify the limit, but still I am a taxable person. Once I become a taxable person, I cease to be a small business. In any year, if I do not qualify any these conditions, then I will remain to be a big business, or not a small business, not allowed to exempt from tax. This is the second condition that is there. So 3,75,000 profit and 3 million turnover. Then they said if there is any free zone company who have a non-qualifying income, so that non-qualifying income, even if it is 1 AED or 1 million AED, whatever it is, they are not given a small scale business relief. So a free zone company providing only 100 dirham service, which is the income, which is a non-qualifying income. So on this 100 dirham, they have to pay 9% tax without the qualifying criteria. Fourth, this says that any company who is claiming a foreign tax relief out of the income. So anybody who is claiming that foreign tax relief, so some companies here, small company having a lesser amount of turnover, they are receiving interest in as their income, but on that interest there is a withholding in a foreign country, and they want to claim the credit of that foreign tax of withholding. So they said those companies are also not small companies, they are doing business internationally, so they will not provide any small scale business relief to them. So these four, if you fulfill these four conditions, then in that case you will be classified as a small businesses. And the moment you classified as a small businesses, then in that case you will be exempt from corporate tax compliance. But today it is not clear whether these small businesses are liable to opt for registration and they are liable to file certain information to the government or not. So these clarification, and only the times to come, this will come. But as of now, it is very clear that they are, if they qualify those prescribed conditions, then they are not liable to pay any tax in UAE. Then there is the participation exemption which is allowed. So this is basically dividends, etc. When it comes within the group, it is allowed. So I'm not going in detail for that. There are certain expenditures which are allowed to some extent. So that details is being given in the law. So for example, accommodation expenses, meal expenses, transportation expenses, admission fees, facilities and equipments used for entertainment, etc., etc. So all those expenses are partly allowed, 50% allowed. So those disallowances are there. Then there are certain expenditure which are not at all allowed. So for example, any gifts, grants, donations are not allowed. Any fines, penalties are not allowed. Any bribes given is not allowed. Any dividend given, profit distributed is not allowed as expenditure. Any amount which have been withdrawn from business by this natural person, the owners, is also not allowed. So likewise, there are many expenses which are genuine expenses, but they are not allowed while computing the corporate tax. So it is like we have in India, the same provisions like is there that way. Then we have a new concept here, which is not available in India. It's called a group taxation. So this group taxation is there where the topmost company in the group can opt for paying taxes on behalf of all the companies within the group. So they have prescribed certain conditions. So if you fulfill those conditions, then you create a group, and the topmost company in the group will file a single return, taking every income of all the subsidiaries, all the companies who form part of that group as a group qualifying group, and they may opt for going for payment of taxes at group level. Assessments can also be done at group level. So those kind of provisions are there in the law. Then the main provisions will come with respect to transfer pricing. So transfer pricing is a provision which says that all related party transactions are subject to transfer pricing. All transactions with the free trade zone entities are also subject to transfer pricing provisions. So those transfer pricing provisions needs to be complied with, and these transfer pricing provisions are also important, and appropriate adjustment needs to be done for this transfer pricing provisions. That is important. So we have to do those things. Then there is a carry forward of losses, etc., etc. These are all allowed. This is there in the law. Then comes the payment of corporate tax. So when you will be liable to pay this tax, the corporate tax has to be paid annually after the end of the year. So like India, there is no advance tax. However, there are provisions of TDS and withholding tax in the law, for which the detailed notification will come in the times to come. So till now, there is no detailed notification, but they will come up with notification that when you need to deduct TDS, and that too in domestic front as well as in the international payments. So both they will come up with notifications, but as per law, the withholding provisions can be incorporated. So the power have been given to the minister through the cabinet to notify the relevant provisions in this regard. Withholding tax credit is also being given for a foreign tax credit whenever there is a deduction outside the country on any income. So that tax which has been paid outside the country is also liable to be deducted here. The GAR provisions, what we have in Indian law, the similar GAR provisions as compared to the India, it is more rationalized and more internationally accepted GAR provisions have been introduced in the law. So apart from transfer pricing, GAR is also important, which is there. Every company has to take a registration of this law, and they have to file this tax returns is required to be filed. All bookkeeping and accounting to be maintained for a period of 7 years. So that is how it works. Now, the last part, which I just want to take here, is the tax year. So from which date this tax is effectively implemented. The law will be implemented from 1st of June 2023. However, the company may not be paying taxes from 1st of June. The law says that any accounting period or the financial year of the company starting on or after 1st of June 2023, not later than 9 months from 1st June. So if your accounting period is a calendar year, so it starts from 1st of January, ends on 31st of March. So if all the accounting year which is starting on or after 1st June 23, so the first accounting period after that will start from 1st of January 24. If this period is within a period of 9 months, so the 9-month period will be, 9-month period will be from 1st June, it will go up to 28th of February. So it will start before that. So then the effective tax rate will come from 1st of January 2024, and it will be for the year from 1st January 24 till 31st March 24, 31st December 24. For this year, we need to pay tax in and do the compliance in 25. However, if that accounting period starts from 1st of July itself, so in those cases, if it starts from 1st of July, then the tax period will start from 1st of July till 30th of June. So in after 30th June, we need to pay tax and we need to comply the law. So that is also an important part, that which company is liable to pay tax and when they need to pay tax on this particular income. So all those companies whose accounting period starts from 1st of January 2024, effectively the tax will be applicable from 1st of January 24 for the calendar year. But if the accounting period starts before 1st of January 24, so in those cases, the tax will be effective immediately. So if somebody has started a accounting period from 1st of January 23 or 1st of July 2023, so that their tax year will also start from 1st of July 2023. So then there are certain transition provisions which have been introduced from the law, which is not much relevance. But one thing you need to concentrate on, 4 things that I have already told you. One is the consultant role for taxes. Another would be the compliance partner for taxes. Third is the bookkeeping and accounting, and fourth is the audit. So those things, if you can do and if you can get the opportunity, so those things will come, and it is a great opportunity for all of you. With this, I think I should end my deliberation. I have already completed my time. If you have any questions right now, I can answer those questions as well. If you have, our chairman of the committee, CPE committee, Malji is also here, so I welcome you, sir. So
thank you, Avinash ji. Sir, there are some questions, Avinash sir.
Ji, Amrish ji.
There are some questions, if you would like to answer it.
Yeah, please go ahead. Can you please read? I'll answer it.
Yeah. First question is whether tax paid in UAE can be claimed as tax credit in India by Indian business under double tax avoidance treaty.
Sure, sir. We have section 90 of Income Tax Act 1961, and we also have a treaty with UAE. According to that treaty article, we can claim the tax credit, which whatever the taxes you have paid here, you will get a credit in India.
Okay. Next question is UAE corporate tax is similar to Income Tax Act. How to get such assignment from UAE?
Sir, UAE corporate tax is similar to Indian income tax, that is for sure, except 2 or 3 new provisions which is not there, like group taxation, like some other provisions I have discussed. But how to get it, I think it is more on you, that if you have a capability and people know that you have a capability, you will get an assignment. So it all depends how you market, how you get in touch with clients. And so similar to India, how you get an assignment in India, the similar way you can also get an assignment in UAE as well.
Okay, next question is what is future growth of CA opting to work in audit and assurance service in UAE?
Sorry?
Next question is what is future growth of CA opting to work in audit and assurance service in UAE?
I think, sir, for that, I request the CPE committee also to educate our members in India. The government have recently changed its way of opting, allowing Indian chartered accountants to obtain an audit license. Last week, UAE, the Dubai chapter of ICAI have conducted one workshop on this topic only, that how an Indian chartered accountant can obtain an audit license here in UAE. So CPE committee may also look for the same and organize it for the benefit of the members. But Indian chartered accountants are allowed to obtain an audit license subject to certain conditions being fulfilled. Gone are the days when we require some local partnership to obtain a license. Gone are the days when there was a difficulty which is being faced by us. The major difficulty earlier what we faced here, the government says any person who is a member of ICAI and holding bachelor degree, we in India, there is no bachelor degree in accounting. We all are Bachelor of Commerce. We all are doing BCom. So earlier the problem was they do not recognize BCom as a bachelor degree for accounting. Now they have already done it. So BCom, they said, okay, it is equivalent to Bachelor of Accounting. So now the process is streamlined and a bit easy, though it is not that easy that it appears. But yes, an Indian Chartered Accountant can take it. Once they have been given and they have been approved as an auditor, they are eligible to do audit not only for the mainland companies, but also for tax purposes as well as for free zones. So they need to get themselves listed there. Once they have a license here, after that they can do audit. So there is a huge opportunity which have come in times to come as far as this this audit practice is concerned in this country.
So next question is mentioned that CA can do audit subject to certain conditions. Can you mention a few conditions?
Sir, I just talked to you that conditions is that he should be holding a BCom degree or a bachelor degree. So if he is only chartered accountant, do not have a bachelor degree, so then he is not allowed. Then he should have a certain number of experience. So it is 10 years of experience in India. So if he is having a 10 years of experience in India as an auditor and who is doing an assurance function, then only he is allowed. So those smaller conditions needs to be fulfilled. So there is one more condition of 1 year experience in UAE. So the person should have 1 year experience here. So likewise, so those conditions needs to be fulfilled. If the chartered accountant is also having an ACCA degree, so that ACCA degree can be taken straight away. So based on this, these all information is available on the Ministry of Economics website of the country. So you can refer, though you can go to the website of Ministry of Economics here of UAE and you will get all these information. It is not like easy cake that okay, tomorrow I pack up my bags from India, reach here, go to the ministry and get a license. So it is not like that. So I need to fulfill certain conditions on after that only. So like I've already discussed with you. So then you will be eligible to get this license.
Okay. Next question is, sir, can Indian CA sign audit reports? How much time to get the necessary approval audit license in UAE?
Sir, वो मैंने already बता दिया. Once you fulfill all the condition, then within a reasonable time of 2-3 months, you will get it.
Okay. May I ask another question, sir?
Yeah, please.
An entity registered in Jebel's Ali Free Zone, but doing real estate investment in mainland UAE, earning income by way of leasing and selling of property. In those cases, is those income taxable?
Though they have not notified yet the definition of qualifying income and non-qualifying income, but prima facie, I believe answer is yes.
Okay.
It is taxable.
Okay.
But still I say let the government notify the rules for qualifying and non-qualifying. But prima facie, I believe that they will notify and they will tax this.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. How to search for job in Dubai for experienced CA? Which emirate out of 7 is good for Indian CAs?
Sir, इसके लिए ना दुबई चैप्टर बताएगा हमारा और अबू धाबी चैप्टर बताएगा.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, there are a lot of job portals. How you search a job here in India? The institute also do a campus. And I must appreciate the institute and the working of the central council. They are organizing one campus in Dubai also shortly. So they are doing a wonderful job for our members. So if somebody can go to the website of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, they are also having some kind of a arrangement like that. And they may also go and talk to the office bearers of the chapters here. So there is an Abu Dhabi chapter, there is a Dubai chapter of ICI. So these people can also, office bearers can also help you, or they may connect you to the right person.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question, sir?
Sir, no more questions, sir.
Chale, sir, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar. And thank you, CPE Committee, for giving me this opportunity to interact with all the members. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Avinash, sir, for joining us from Dubai in this, the
from Abu Dhabi, sir. Right now, Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. I can understand it was very short notice and you have accepted our request, sir. So thank you very much from CPE Committee. So, sir, once again, thank you. And we would like to have, more such kind of webinars in the future as well, sir. Thank you, sir. So Animesh ji, we have chairman sir with us. Now he has joined. Chairman
sir.
of CPE Committee,
Ji,
Purushottam
yeah.
Khandelwal sir. Now he has joined, sir.
Okay, sir. So, I would like to welcome sir, chairman sir. Sir,
I think there is some connectivity issue. So meanwhile, thank you very much, Animesh ji. I think there is some connectivity issue at your end. So I would like to welcome chairman of CP committee, very much dynamic, visionary, and very good leader. I can say motivator, CA Purushottam Khandelwal sir, who is the chairman of CP committee. Apart from this, he is a convener of RBI Directorate and the vice chairman of other committee in ICI and member of most of the committee. So basically, sir has a vision, of course, to go forward. What was the task last year? The committee has thought of to start. So not taking much time. I would like to request Purushottam sir to kindly address sir. We have sir a large gathering, I can say, in this online platform. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, respected Vice Chairperson of this CPE committee, Gyan Misra ji, who is instrumental in organizing such a wonderful online seminar. And just I heard the Avinash Gupta ji from Abu Dhabi. Sir, members of the institute are keen interested to do practice or a job at Middle East. Yesterday, I got an opportunity to discuss with the President, sir, Vice President, and International Affairs Committee that how we can obtain an audit license as the ACCA is obtained. I think ACCA is directly permitted to do the audit. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ankur ji, for joining this seminar and address to the member. Just as discussed with the Avinash ji, members, हम चाहते हैं कि ICI को ऑडिट लाइसेंस कैसे जल्दी मिले और उसके लिए आपके कोई भी सजेशन है तो आप ICI प्रेसिडेंट डायरेक्ट या अनिकेत तलाटी जी से या रंजीत अग्रवाल जी से या मुदीत हैं जो हमारे इंटरनेशनल ऑडिट कमेटी के सेक्रेटरी हैं वो मीटिंग हमने कल ही करी थी। हम चाहते हैं कि जब उनको अगर डायरेक्ट लाइसेंस मिल सकता है तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि हम उनसे अगर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स को मिलना है या मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री पीयूष गोयल जी को मिलना है या इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स डिपार्टमेंट दुबई को मिलना है, हम सब जगह मिलने को तैयार है। आप वहीं से खाली प्रोसीजर एक बता दीजिए कि कैसे करने से स्पीडी कर सकते हैं। हमको उस प्रोफेशन में की रोल में रहना है क्योंकि मिडिल ईस्ट में अभी तक 10 में से 7 CFO या CEO कंपनी के इंडियन सीए हैं और ऐसा नहीं हो कि हम रह जाए और सीए उसको टेक ओवर करें। तो ये हमारा था। दूसरा, आज का जो सेकंड टॉपिक है कैरियर के लिए इंटरनल ऑडिट। अभी तक हम सब बात करते हैं कि हम स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट कॉम्प्लायंस वर्क में हैं, बराबर। अटेस्टेशन फॉर आई आल्सो गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू जस्ट विजिटेड टू यूके एंड आई मेट द नंबर ऑफ चार्टर्ड इन यूके दोज आर नॉट हैविंग अ ऑडिट लाइसेंस, दे आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन ऑडिट लाइसेंस बट दे आर इन द इंटरनल ऑडिट where they get the very good remuneration because the organization whom you are providing a value addition services, you look to each and every corner of the organization and you can suggest how can the organization can approve, how the efficiency of organization can approve, how the HR can approve HR की कैपेसिटी को कैसे बढ़ाया जाए, प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी बढ़ाया जाए, अकाउंटिंग फंक्शन को कैसे अच्छा किया जाए, फंड मैनेजमेंट को कैसे अच्छा किया। तो ये जो आप और बिजनेस में इन्वॉल्व है और उसमें आप इंटरनल ऑडिट रिपोर्ट देते हैं तो सर्टेनली जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है दे विल certainly pay you or you will be also satisfied because when we are in the attestation function we are in the statutory auditor where we have to say this work you cannot do, this work you cannot do, there is a restriction in the company law, there is a restriction on income tax law, so certain we have to discharge our liabilities as a statutory auditor. We have to restrict ourselves to the certain function. But when we are in the internal auditor just like a business जो कर रहा है वो एक CFO कैसे चला रहा है, मैनेजमेंट कैसे चला रहा है, उसी तरह से अगर हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ऐसी सर्विस दें जिससे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अच्छे से चले, उनको भी वैलिडेशन सर्विस मिले और आपको भी जाए, तो दिस इज एन वेरी गुड टॉपिक सेलेक्टेड बाय द ज्ञान मिश्रा जी एंड द फैकल्टीज Sri Gaurav Misra ji here. I think I joined the Gaurav Misra ji. Tiwari ji, Gaurav ji ने join किया.
Yes sir, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good
So
afternoon sir.
Yes, तो गौरव मिश्रा जी हैं जो आपको बताएंगे कि इसको इंटरनल ऑडिट को कैसे कैरियर के रूप में चॉइस किया जाए. So I will thanks to our secretary of the committee Ajit Naji Tiwari, those who are instrumental in organizing seminar in every week. आप ऐसे ही ऑर्गेनाइज करते रहती है. हमारा काम है सीपी कमेटी का कि मेंबर को अपडेट करना, अपग्रेड करना, और जो लेटेस्ट टॉपिक है जिसमें मेंबर को इंटरेस्ट है उसको हम अच्छे स्पीकर और मेंबर्स को मिलाने का काम मेरी कमेटी करती है, तो हम करते रहेंगे. With thanks, thank you Tiwari sir for giving me an opportunity. I request you to take a charge by Gaurav Misra ji. Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, and
Yes.
welcome to our webinar. I am Animesh Sharma. From Raipur, Chhattisgarh, moderator of this webinar.
Yes.
I am honored to introduce our next speaker, CA Gaurav Mishra ji. Today, we are discussing career in internal audit in current scenario, and CA Gaurav Kumar Mishra has graciously agreed to share their insight and expertise on this subject. So, I will start with brief introduction. In introducing today's speaker, CA Gaurav Mishra ji. Sir is currently working in PwC as manager, having experience in internal audit for more than 6 years. Advised client in manufacturing, industrial manufacturing, metal and mining. He was co-opted member in internal audit of WIRC of ICI in 21 and 22 and worked under guidance of CA Lalit Bajaj, CA Manish Gadia and Murtaza Kanchwala. He also delivered various sessions on internal audit. He was co-author of book published by WIRC on the internal audit on Feb 21. With this, I have requested Gaurav sir to start the session. Over to Gaurav sir.
Before going ahead, just I would like to inform that there is some connectivity issue at Gauravji's end, because I think there is some election and some government protocol there at Allahabad. So I have requested sir, chairman sir, to him, if that possible, he can be on audio mode also.
No problem. If not possible, then he can go for the audio mode. No issue. No issue.
So Gauravji.
Thank you so much, Ajit ji, and thank you so much,
In that
sir,
way,
for
sir,
considering
we
me
can.
and-
I think we can, sir, go ahead. Whenever you feel convenient, video and audio, you can switch, sir.
Yeah, sure, definitely, I'll ensure the same.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, I want to say thanks to Ajit ji and the chairman of the CPE committee for giving. And it is a very big moment for me that in front of learned speaker Avinash Gupta ji and our chairman, so I'm presenting myself. So here I'll not present about any PPT and all because it is all about the theoretical. But yes, during my 6 years of tenure, how I gained a India or outside India, within Big Four or outside Big Four, within corporate or within the mid-sized CA firm. How a person can, am I audible?
You are audible.
Okay, sure. So if a person, so basically if we talk about that, what is the career in the internal audit and what is the qualification to be an internal auditor? The prima facie thing which is very important that so first of all, in India, it is being governed by the ICI. But if you talk about outside India, it is totally governed by IIA. So basically, Institute of Internal Auditor, who provides the, you can say, a certificate course or the certificate as an internal auditor, certified internal auditor. But in India, if you see that we as a member are doing the start audit, we as a member are doing the internal audit as well.
Major bills हैं मतलब जो होटल वगैरह के होने चाहिए वो हैं.
और ये मैच कर रहे हैं नंबर से.
So now if we talk about that internal auditor, what is the career? So let's take one example. Everyone cannot go because as a person I can see that to be an internal auditor you should have some 360-degree view. Means if you have a perception or if you have a view of a deep dive analysis of any root causing, why analysis and all those things. I think if you are having that kind of interest, then I think IA's internal auditor is going to be a very big role in your life in terms of career. if we talk about that, what IIA can, or you can say that what internal audit does, is it the financial audit or is it the operational audit? So if we talk about it, it means that it includes that you can say that financial audit as well as your operational audit. And if we talk about the operational audit, it means that any kind of operation, be it a production, be it you can say procurement, be it a inventory, because somehow your entire supporting processes is linked with your the financial statements. So this is important thing. Now the thing is, someone will think of that how one can gain the knowledge about other than the finance activities. So the thing is, it is more about the understanding of the process, discussion with the client, discussion with the process owners, and more driving, because nowadays a lot of materials are available over YouTube. Even our institute has also released a lot of guidelines or guidance for each and every industry. Because I was also the part of last year, I was the part with the IASB as a co-opted member. So even I also know that if you take about the automobile industry, if you take about the coal industry, if you take about the metal and mining, a lot of guidance note is available with the ICA. Now the thing is that what is the career? अगर आप एक internal auditor के तरीके से career को start कर रहे हैं, then what role you can achieve or what achievement you can achieve during your entire life. So a fresher chartered accountant, he starts as a internal auditor, you can say, be it any industry, be it a service industry, be it a, you can say that other than service industry, which is called as manufacturing, infrastructure and all those things. After some period of time, that particular person will be able to understand the entire business structure, that how this particular business is going and how this particular business is running. Which in my point of view, I am not disrespecting any of the profession. But this is the biggest difference between the stat auditor as well as the internal auditor. Stat auditor always focus on the financial numbers. They will focus on the financial statements, balance sheet, P&L and all those things, India's compliances. But being an internal auditor, we also focus, you can say, more on the financial also as well as operation also. So at least if a person who spent his 3 to 4 years of life dedicatedly within the IA, so he will be able to understand any of the business. So like during this 6 years of tenure, I have done the audits for the metal and mining sector, one of the largest India's, you can say, steel manufacturing company, India's largest cement manufacturing companies. I can say that how the industry runs, what are the business risks in these industries, and it tackles with the knowledge. So this is the entire scenario. I can say that this IA or internal auditor has that perspective, which others doesn't have. Now, आप जाते हो उस टाइम पीरियड में क्या होता है कि आफ्टर सम पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, आफ्टर यू कैन से 8 years, 10 years or 12 years, you will be on that situation or on that position where at least mid-sized CA firm can you can say hire at a post of a chief risk officer, of chief of the internal auditor, or you can say that internal auditor lead. So these are the roles available. And now let's take example. If suppose someone has done the audit for metal and mining sector, so can they do the audit for any other manufacturing company? Definitely they can do the manufacturing audit for the other manufacturing company also. So this is the, because each and everything, the more or less the processes will be same, the operations will be different. Organization or any person who is hiring you as an internal auditor, they will see that whether that particular fellow is having that point of view or 360-degree view, or you can say that whether you are able to see or think anything from the risk perspective. अब यहाँ पे क्या होता है ना, risk perspective, it is very important. आप किसी चीज को रिस्क के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप सोच पाते हो नहीं सोच पाते हो, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पैरामीटर फॉर द इंटरनल ऑडिटर. अगर आपको सारी चीजें लगती है कि हाँ इसमें कोई रिस्क ही नहीं है, जो भी क्लाइंट ने किया वो सही है, या जो भी इंडस्ट्री प्रोसेस फॉलो कर रही दैट इज करेक्ट फॉलो. इफ यू हैव दैट थॉट प्रोसेस और इफ यू आर हैविंग दैट you can say that that point of view, so I think again you need to look upon yourself that whether you should continue with the internal audit or not. So this is very important thing which we should think from that perspective. Now see कि अभी होता क्या है कि some corporate industry sector, before some people choose person who is choosing that career, whether someone the work-life balances, whether someone is having their career as a first perspective. So I think this is very important thing which one should also think from that perspective कि आपको किस फील्ड में जाना है, आपको कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर ज्वाइन करना है, आपको इंडस्ट्री ज्वाइन करनी है, आपको बिग फोर ज्वाइन करनी है, आपको मिड साइज सीए फर्म ज्वाइन करनी है. Because in India, apart from the big four, also there are a lot of CA firms who are really doing good in internal audit. I'll not name here, but yes, in Mumbai, in Ahmedabad, because I know a lot of CA firms in Ahmedabad also who are really doing the internal audit well. They are having the good clients, what big fours or you can say top 10 CA firms are having. So this is a very important thing. So आपको थोड़ा पेशेंस रखने की जरूरत होती है. क्या आईए में थोड़ा पेशेंस रखना है. Yes, at an initial stage you will see that what your friends are doing the taxation work, they are going to the income tax association, high court litigations करते हैं, या some of your friends will be doing you can say that stat audit, M&A and all those things. It all depends on person to person. But as an internal auditor, I will say that yes, you will be having an open door with any of the organization. Because nowadays, each and every industry, with a sizable turnover, they are having their own internal audit department. Sometimes if the company size is big, they hire the consultants to perform the internal audit. Sometimes if company size is small, then they do it from their own team. Now the thing is कि हम लोग अगर इंडिया में इंटरनल ऑडिट करते हैं तो क्या बाहर जाके भी वही कॉन्सेप्ट फॉलो होता है? Definitely. I can say this thing, the very major difference between the India culture and expectation vis-a-vis the foreign culture and expectation. Now the thing is, I can say that because in India, we people go more on the deeper root causes, deeper analysis, why this exception came, what is the documentation and all. But if you see from the foreign company perspective, so they will be already having their risk control matrix, their controls, their processes go, and they will follow that. And you have to perform the audit according to that audit. It means that in India, you can go, or you can say that आपके लिए पूरा आसमान खुला हुआ है. But in case of foreign, वहाँ पे पूरा risk control matrix बना होता है. They have the process note, and उसी process note के according आपको audits करनी होती है. Means if you really did a good job in India with any of the company, you can really do a very good job with the foreign assignments. Now the thing is कि क्या foreign में audit करने के लिए, internal audit में अपना career बनाने के लिए क्या हमको कोई और भी डिग्री लेने की जरूरत है या नहीं? So I'll clear you one thing, that yes, some of the companies, they prefer to have a IIA, Institute of Internal Auditor certificate course. Okay, this you can say that certificate in certified internal auditor, which is called as a CIA. But in most of the cases, if someone is not having that certificate, in that case, it is not necessary that you cannot do a internal auditor. So this is very important. Now the thing is,
गौरव जी आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही.
sir, sorry, it was on.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all
right. I was saying about that. Who can pursue whether a member can directly go for an IA job with the foreign country? Yes, definitely. आपके पास certified internal auditor का अगर certificate है, that will be your added advantage, but that is not the sole criteria to work with any of the foreign countries. So this is thing which I want to convey. Now the thing is how to get opportunity outside India. So now the thing is, yes, if you are having some connects and all those things, but nowadays if you are going to Gulf countries, it is very easy because Indian जो thought processes होते हैं, India peoples के जो thought process होते हैं, that is totally different as compared to foreign. Foreigners के साथ में क्या होता है कि उनके पास में IIA या ACCA कोर्स होता है या certified internal auditors होते हैं. go more on the process approach. You can say that कि हाँ अगर मैंने बोला हुआ है कि मेरा ऑपरेशन या मेरा परचेज ऑर्डर इस वे में रिलीज होगा, उसके लिए ये अप्रूवल मैट्रिक्स है, you have to follow only these 2 or 3 steps. बट अगर मैं इंडिया में बात करूँ ना, तो इंडिया के केस में क्या होगा कि you will go more deeper. That suppose if someone has defined that till 5 lakh rupees, my entire purchase order invoice will be approved by the head of the finance or head of the purchase. In India, you can raise a question. Why 5 lakh rupees? Why not 3 lakh rupees? Or why not 10 lakh rupees? Because here, what you will do as an Indian, what I will do, I will perform the entire data analytics that yes, what is the maximum limit and who and at what level maximum purchase order is going. So I can say that yes, at this particular level, आपके पास में जो है, you can say that this one, this particular authority matrix or this particular authority is having a lot of burden. This is again of the dependency part. Let's take another example. So in like in India, we do a lot of sample testing based on the documentation and all. In foreign country, you can say that they focus more on the system based country. But India में क्या होता है, इंडिया में अभी भी सिस्टम के अलावा भी people are having a manual controls also. So these are the differences जो कि मेरा एक इंडियन thought process में होता है और एक फॉरेन के thought process में. So I can say that this is the very major difference between the auditing doing in India, auditing outside India. Now the thing is कि मुझे करना क्या चाहिए as a fresher chartered. हाँ sir.
May I request some little bit of disturbance? I think background. I think it's coming. If that can be reduced, sir.
Okay, I'll show you. Okay, sure.
Because over the web, na, it's sometimes it's being critical. Please continue, sir. Please continue.
Okay. So I was saying about yes. So for a fresher chartered accountant, there must be a question or there should be a question कि अगर मुझे as an internal auditor join करना है या मुझे करियर ही internal audit में बनाना है, so कैसे करें? मतलब आप अपने सीनियर से पूछोगे या आप अपने मेंटोर से पूछोगे, to whom you should ask. So I think the better part is first you realize yourself that yes, whether you are having that acumen or not. Because if you are not having that perspective or thinking from the risk perspective, आपके पास बस आता ही नहीं. So I think IA is not good for them. But yes, if someone is really interested कि नहीं मुझे IA में ही अपना करियर बनाना है, so I think over a period of time, if you have entered, if you have joined any mid-sized CA firm, so I think over there you definitely learn a lot. आप ज्वाइन करना किसको चाहिए? आपको इंडस्ट्री ज्वाइन करना चाहिए, आपको सीए फर्म ज्वाइन करना चाहिए, आपको so I was saying that कि क्या ज्वाइन करना चाहिए, किसका प्रेफरेंस है? So I'll definitely say आप कहीं पे भी ज्वाइन करो, वेदर इंडस्ट्री ज्वाइन करो, आप किसी सीए फर्म को ज्वाइन करो, आप चाहिए तो आप किसी बिग फोर को, it doesn't matter. It all depends exposure you are getting जहां पे आप काम कर रहे हैं. कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि
I think there is some technical issue. He may rejoin also. From technical team, just you take him in, from waiting room. So for the information of participants, sir, because Gauraji has joined from Allahabad. Today there is some elections of, that local body. So there are some jam and other things are there. So might be there is some connectivity issue. So that is the reason. So that's why we requested him. So just meanwhile, sir, we are fixing. Chairman, sir, yeah.
Yes, anything, what happened, sir? Is not connectivity because of election in Jelabad?
Sir, there is some, sir, in UP, sir, that election, sir, connectivity, some jammer has been installed. In some of the places.
गौरव जी,
That's
आपके एंड से कुछ डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है?
सर,
दो कंप्यूटर में लॉगिन किया आपने, दो कंप्यूटर में लॉगिन किया, उसकी वजह से ये इको हो रहा है। इको हो रहा है, आपने के वहां से दो कंप्यूटर में लॉगिन किया है।
No, sir, I joined through only one devices.
ठीक है सर, ओके सर, एक से हो गया सर। गौरव जी ऑडिबल है?
अब बराबर, yes, okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, extremely sorry because here today's elections are going on for the corporations. So that in from Allahabad the situation is. Okay, thank you so much, sir. So I was saying that about as a fresher chartered accountant कि हमको ज्वाइन कहाँ करना चाहिए और किस लिए ज्वाइन करना चाहिए कि अगर आपको आईए में ही आना या किसी और में नहीं। The very important thing is being an internal auditor, you can go to the any department. Nowadays, a lot of companies are having their fraud risk department, a lot of companies are having their risk department, their compliance audit department, their internal audit department. So, as an internal auditor, you can go anywhere. As a risk officer भी आप जा सकते हो, as a compliance auditor भी जा सकते हो, as a process auditor भी जा सकते हो. Because nowadays also the companies are having the, you can say, the department as a process excellence. So this is the you can say that opportunity being an internal auditor with the CAs. Now the thing is, so now the thing is, as a chartered accountant, what is the scope apart from the audit? Yes, apart from the core internal auditor, we have a scope called as a process development. As an auditor, we also sometimes do a practice which is called as a process development, mapping of the existing process of the companies and benchmarking with the similar kind of industry. Sometimes this task is being done by management consultant, which is a purely, you can say that they are a high level of the process improvements. So this is one thing. So these are the opportunities which as an auditor you can find out within India and outside the India. So I think I have covered most of the topics.
So Krishna ji, have you got any query related to this topic?
No, sir. There is no queries there.
Okay, it's all right. So,
so yes,
with the permission of
sir, there is one query.
Okay. Yes, okay.
What are some best software for internal audits?
What are the some best softwares for the internal auditor? Yes, there are a lot of softwares. So like audit के लिए आपको ऐसा कोई software नहीं. All the softwares are basically accounting. But if we talk from the data analytics perspective, so yes, there are a lot of softwares like Idea, Alteryx. These are the audit tools. These are the best audit tools available in the market. But from that, apart from the data analytics, if you talk about the presentation perspective, so like PowerPoint is also one of the tools which is used in presenting the audit reports and all.
One more question. What are the opportunities in government sector if somebody wants to have his career in the government sector side?
Okay. So in terms of government sector, if we talk about, so directly as an internal auditor, we don't to the extent to the best of my knowledge, we don't have any direct entry to that particular field. But yes, we have a privilege being a chartered accountant. So like in the CAG also, in the local corporations, so like municipal corporations, they have the post called fund auditor. So this is the entire things which is run by the Public Service Commission, then you give the interview and all those things. But directly if you ask, there is no such direct entry. In the PSU sector, yes, you can get. So like BPCL, like IOCL and all those things.
Any other question, Krishnakant ji? Do you have?
No, sir.
Okay. So here I would like to say thanks, Gauraji. Enough. Even I know that extreme conditions at that place. Even by going through those conditions, you have accepted. In fact, today taken this webinar session on how to build a career internal audit in current scenario. So we could understand there are some miracles in Java and issues involved.
Thank you so much, Ajit ji and Khandelwal sir.
Yeah. So I told Chairman sir the last moment. I think there are some issues, connectivity issues, but of course sir had decided to go ahead with the topic because of course we want you would have on the video mode, but of course there's difficulty. But anyway, that that knowledge you have shared is very much beneficial. So on behalf of CPE Committee and all the participants, we would like to say thanks to you. And no more questions. We are ending the webinar here. So again, on behalf
Thank you
of
so much,
CPE
sir.
Committee, Chairman sir, Professor Khandwal sir, Vice Chairman Sri Ganjan Mitra sir in Malaysia, I would like to extend my sincere thanks from CPE Committee to all the participants who have joined and listened this webinar. And we are also process of organizing, some more webinars in the contemporary topics, and we would come shortly. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ajit ji, for giving me the opportunity.
Welcome.